So you walk into Whole Foods, ready to buy quinoa, a word you can't pronounce very well, and almond butter that costs more than your first car. It turns out your favorite temple of organic purity is quietly getting an Amazon makeover. Shop bots fetching Tide Pods, snack kiosks serving Doritos like they're farm to table. And longtime shoppers are asking, is this still Whole Foods? Or did I really walk into a very clean 7-Eleven? Today we'll be talking about what happens when kale meets capitalism, when premium groceries collide with prime logistics, and whether Whole Foods can stay whole as itself, one bag of spicy, sweet, chili Doritos at a time. You see, Amazon is shaking up the natural foods grocer with robots in the back room and Pepsi outside the exit doors in its push for a bigger slice of the supermarket business. So, let's get going before the robots unionize. Welcome to That's Life, I Swear. This podcast is about life's happenings in this world that conjure up such words as intriguing, frightening, life-changing, inspiring, and more. I'm Rick Barron, your host. That said, here's the rest of this story. Remember when Whole Foods was that fancy grocery store when you accidentally spent $47 on what you thought was going to be a simple lunch? Those were simpler times, my friends. Simpler, but more expensive times. But now, in a Whole Foods tucked away in the Philadelphia suburbs, something bizarre is happening. So what do I mean? You're browsing the organic kombucha selection, mentally preparing to explain to your wallet why you need a $6 bottle of fermented tea, when suddenly you realize you could use some Tide Pods, not the artistic lavender-scented, handcrafted detergent pods blessed by the monks in the Himalayas. Just regular old Tide Pods, the kind your mom buys. Now look out, here come the shop bots. Yes, you heard that correctly. There are now robots, actual robots lurking in the back room of a Whole Foods store, ready to collect your Pepsi and your laundry detergent like some automated grocery butler service. I mean, it's like living in a science fiction novel, except instead of flying cars, we got robots that bring us soda pop. Now, this odd arrangement is the brainchild of teams from both Amazon and Whole Foods itself. Amazon bought Whole Foods back in 2017 for a cool $14 billion. Together, they've been huddled in conference rooms, presumably over fair trade coffee, pondering the great philosophical question of our time. How do you sell normal people food at a store famous for judging you if you don't know what acai is? Now, for the record, acai are small, dark purple berry fruits that grow on the acai palm tree, native to the Amazon rainforest in South America. Now, let's take a step back in history. Here's the thing about Whole Foods that made it special for 45 years. It had standards, strict ones. The kind of standards that would make your grandmother, who doesn't trust anything with ingredients she can't pronounce, nod approvingly. Walk into the beverage section, and you'll find yourself staring at an array of prebiotic sodas so pure and GMO-free, they're practically glowed with righteousness. But what if, and hear me out here, what if you just wanted a Pepsi? In the old days, you'd be out of luck, my friend. You'd have to accept your fate. Grab that bottle of small batch hibiscus soda made by a collective in Vermont and pretend you enjoyed it. But now? Well, now you can whip out your phone, open the Amazon app, and summon the shop bots like some kind of modern-day genie to bring you your Pepsi. Now here's something to know. The Whole Foods store in Chicago has gone even further off the reservation. Amazon cleared out the entire coffee shop and seating area. You know, the place where you work-from-home warriors used to pretend to write your novels, and install something called Amazon Grocery. It's a 3,800 square foot shrine to regular grocery store brands, complete with Kraft, mac and cheese, and Chips Ahoy cookies. The vision, apparently, is for shoppers to buy their ethically sourced organic cabbage upstairs, and then quietly descend to the lobby to bask in what is described as the purple glow of spicy, sweet chili Doritos. It's like they're trying to create a choose-your-own-adventure grocery experience. Are you getting this? Do you want to be the person who only eats foods that sound like they were invented by a wellness influencer? Or do you want to be someone who understands that sometimes, late at night, only Doritos will do? Okay, so how did we get here? Well, let's rewind again to 2017, shall we? That's when Amazon swooped in and acquired Whole Foods, causing employees to panic that their beloved organic oasis would be strip mined for data and efficiency. Meanwhile, competing grocery chains were probably having emergency board meetings convinced that Amazon was about to eat their lunch, quite literally. It's now the year 2026, and here's the plot twist. Amazon's share of the entire grocery market hasn't budged above 4%. That's according to market research firm Numerator, and it's kind of hilarious when you think about it. Now here's Amazon, the company that figured out how to drone deliver packages and convinced all of us to put listening devices in our homes, and they can't crack the mystery of getting Americans to buy more of their groceries from them. Whole Foods now operates 547 stores worldwide with 106,000 employees. That's a lot of people who know exactly which aisle the nutritional yeast is in without needing to check. Jason Buchel, the current CEO and son of a Wisconsin cheesemaker, insists that the company has only gotten stronger since the acquisition. He released a statement that basically says, you know what, we're still doing our thing, providing customers with our high-quality, natural, and organic food. Thank you very much. But behind the scenes, well, things are getting kind of interesting. To understand what's at stake here, we need to talk about what Whole Foods used to be. When it first opened its doors in 1980, back when most of us thought organic was just something you learned about in chemistry class, Whole Foods helped launch the modern natural foods movement. John Mackey, the company's co-founder and longtime CEO, built the chain into an empire by gobbling up regional grocers across the country. But this wasn't your typical corporate consolidation story. Whole Foods was weird in the best possible way. They didn't even have aisle numbers because they expected employees to walk customers to their products while, having a conversation like human beings. Revolutionary, I know. But by 2010, the party was winding down. Walmart and Costco, those grocery giants who previously couldn't care less about organic kale, suddenly decided they wanted in on the action. They beefed up, pardon the pun, their own organic sections, and suddenly you could buy affordable organic produce without taking out a second mortgage. Whole Foods sales growth slowed. Its stock price dropped. Boardroom tension mounted. In a podcast interview on the Habits and Hustle podcast, Mackey revealed that an activist investor was threatening to take over the board and fire him and other executives. The sale to Amazon, he explained, was essentially the best escape hatch. We didn't want to sell to Amazon, Mackey admitted. It's just that Amazon was the best solution to a problem we had. At first, the changes were subtle. Amazon staff started filtering into Whole Foods. Prime members got shopping discounts. It was like watching your favorite indie coffee shop slowly transform into a Starbucks. Except you couldn't even be mad about it because you really did appreciate saving 10% on that organic almond butter. When Mackey retired in 2022, Buchel took over the reins. Now, under his watch, Whole Foods has seen year-over-year sales growth. Whole Foods opened 8 stores in 2023. Now, their competitor, Sprouts Farmers Market, they opened 30 stores. And that's got to sting. Meanwhile, the rest of Amazon's grocery empire was essentially face planting. Amazon Fresh, which started as a delivery service in 2007 and later opened physical stores, was struggling so hard that in 2023, Amazon just stopped building new ones altogether. It's like they hit pause on the whole operation and said, okay, let's think about this for a minute, shall we? In a podcast interview, Mackey addressed complaints from shoppers who felt Whole Foods wasn't what it used to be. What do you think he said in response? Well, it's not my problem any longer. By October of 2024, things were getting real. Buchel faced a staff meeting that sounds almost as fun as a root canal. Employees were not pleased about Amazon's 5-day in-the-office work policy, extending to Whole Foods corporate workers. Someone asked if forcing employees to drive into downtown Austin every single day aligned with the company's goals. An executive suggested carpooling. You can practically hear the collective eye roll echoing through the conference room. Then, in January of 2025, Buechel got promoted to oversee Amazon's entire grocery operation. Now, some Wall Street analysts were quite thrilled about this. They've been waiting for Amazon to do something, anything, to justify that massive Whole Foods acquisition. The company's sales have grown by more than 40% since the takeover, which sounds pretty impressive until you pull out your calculator and do the math, and realize that's roughly 5% annual growth. Back in the early 2010s, Whole Foods was regularly posting double-digit growth. Translation: Amazon spent nearly $14 billion to purchase Whole Foods, and the only sound you're hearing is crickets. Meanwhile, on the ground floor, employees were feeling the squeeze. Ben Lovett, a 30-year-old who works in prepared foods and e-commerce at Philadelphia Whole Foods, has become something of a voice for disgruntled workers. He's been spearheading the company's first serious unionization push in years. People are very aware of the Amazonification at Whole Foods, Lovett said. It's become numbers-based. It seems to be part of their business strategy. Employees complain about becoming too metric-focused. In-store shoppers are rushing through shifts, desperately trying to meet units per hour benchmarks. It's the difference between being a trusted guide, helping someone find the perfect artistic cheese, versus being a grocery-picking robot yourself. In June of 2025, Whole Foods corporate employees received the news. Starting in December of 2025, they would officially become Amazon employees. By August of 2025, Amazon announced same-day delivery for fresh groceries in 2,300 U.S. cities, a massive undertaking overseen by Buechel. Behind the scenes, they launched something called Project Fusion, which involves Whole Food workers fulfilling certain perishable orders placed on Amazon.com. It's all very synergistic. It's all very corporate. It's all very not what Whole Foods used to be. The reorganization means that Whole Foods corporate staff will receive new job offers from Amazon. Starting in 2026, they will no longer receive bonuses tied to Whole Foods performance. Instead, they'll get Amazon stock. I don't know, that's not too bad. And that treasured 20% Whole Foods employee discount, well, that's gone after 1 year. Current and former employees recognize the dilemma. Does Whole Foods take a big swing at expanding its customer base, even if it means upsetting the devoted fans who've been shopping there since before farm to table was a phrase everyone pretended to understand? Dana Streitner, a 34-year-old data scientist in Denver, still remembers her first Whole Foods experience in 2013. I mean, the prepared food section blew her away. The minestrone soup, the various salads, all of the restaurant quality in her estimation. But after the pandemic, she noticed a decline in quality. The idea of seeing Pepsi at Whole Foods, well, that was a turnoff for her. She said, that's not something I would buy. It turns me off, she said, adding that the new prepared food section is almost like buying gas station food. Ouch. Well, that's harsh, but you can understand the sentiment. There's something about Whole Foods that made people feel like they were making better choices, even if those choices cost twice as much as they should have. Now, on the flip side, Virginia Lee, a food industry market researcher who visited the Chicago location, watched customers grab Red Bulls from Amazon Grocery on their way out and thought it was savvy business. Why let all those food dollars go out the door, she said. We already have these people in the building. Let's try to grab the dollars for these less healthy purchases. So what does all this mean? Well, here we are in 2026, watching one of America's most distinctive grocery chains navigate an identity crisis in real time. The company that once refused to stock everything that didn't meet its exact standards now has robots in the back room ready to fetch you a Pepsi. The chain that prided itself on local character and decentralized decision-making is being absorbed into one of the world's most centralized, data-driven corporations. Is it a betrayal of everything Whole Foods stood for? Or is it a necessary evolution for a company trying to survive in an increasingly competitive grocery landscape where even Walmart sells organic kale? Maybe it's both. Maybe it's neither. Maybe it's just the inevitable result of a beloved brand being bought up by a tech giant that knows how to optimize everything, except apparently how to make meaningful inroads in the grocery business despite owning one of the most recognized natural food brands in the world. John Foraker, CEO of Once Upon a Time Farm, which sells organic baby food and snack bars at Whole Foods, summed up what many are thinking. Whole Foods has great brand equity. It's been built over decades. If they were asking me, I would say, be super, super careful. That's the thing about brand equity. It takes years to build and can quickly disappear. So what's the future of Whole Foods? Will it successfully straddle the line between premium natural grocer and accessible everyday supermarket? Will customers embrace the chance to buy their organic produce? Or will loyal customers flee to smaller chains that tech giants haven't yet acquired? Time will tell. Well, welcome to the future of grocery shopping. It's weird, it's corporate, it's got robots, and somewhere in the back, John Mackey is probably just glad it's not his problem anymore. So what can we learn from this story? What's the takeaway? The message in this story is that innovation and expansion come with real trade-offs, especially when a beloved brand tries to grow beyond its core identity. Amazon's push to broaden Whole Foods, adding mainstream products, integrating tech, and unifying grocery operations, shows the tension between scale and soul. Whole Foods built its reputation on strict ingredient standards, a local feel, and a premium mission-driven experience. Now with robots fetching Pepsi and corporate structures merging, it's moving closer to Amazon's efficiency-first playbook. Well, there you go, my friends. That's life, I swear. For further information regarding the material covered in this episode, I invite you to visit my website, which can be found on Apple Podcasts for show notes and the episode transcript. As always, I thank you for the privilege of you listening and your interest. Be sure to subscribe here or wherever you listen to podcasts so you don't miss an episode. And we'll see you soon.